The town of Eatson started under very inauspicious circumstances. Around 1736, there were only a handful of houses where the city lies. William Penn had been dead for decades before this point in time. His three sons weren't quite as benevolent in their actions with the American Indians as their father. They wanted more land. Land was valuable, and they were making a killing. No pun intended. Settlers kept pushing their way into the region, so more land was becoming desired. Land was in demand, as you might say, and so it became a priority for the proprietaries to secure as much land as possible. And so through a series of negotiations and demonstrations, sometimes fraught with trickery and deceit, the proprietaries had their way. The walking purchase, they called it. Sounded nice, I guess. But in reality, it was a ruse, a sleight of hand. Promises were broken, and lives were lost or relocated.
In 1737, John and Thomas Penn produced a shady piece of parchment, a deed. A particularly suspicious deed in that it was over 50 years old. Dated 1686, the contract was a promise to sell a tract of land beginning here at the junction of the Delaware and Lehigh rivers, extending as far as a man could walk in a day and a half. The Indians had no way to contend the authenticity of the contract. Was it a forgery or an unsigned original? I can't tell you because I don't know everything, and time travel affects my bowels. John, Thomas, and Richard. Together they inherited an insane amount of land. 45,000 square miles. 180,000 football stadiums. As if that wasn't enough, they went on to partake in something known as the walking purchase, whereby they managed to secure an additional 1,875 miles through a series of negotiations, sometimes using incorrect or distorted maps, vagaries, and other forms of deceit. Easton was the county seat at the time of these happenings, which gave it an advantage at surviving the tumultuous period following its settlement by the eager invaders. That's right, what humans consider an invasive species, pretzels consider humans. Much like how a lanternfly, if it had its way, it might decimate a farmer's field. It would also thrive over time if permitted to stay, thus becoming adapted to its environment. An alien thing, in a sense, coming from a disparate place geographically, but also from a disparate place in just about every other sense of the word. From linguistics, or language, to belief systems, to customs, to religion, or technology, to technology, right down to more fleshly differences such as color of skin and bone structure. Genetics, a fascinating field for humans, less interesting for pretzels.
The town of Eatson